Hi, I'm Mike from 1A Auto. We've been selling auto parts for over 30 years.
To access the dry belts on this car, we're gonna remove the wheel, but first I'm gonna loosen the lug nuts while it's on the ground before I lift and support it. This way it's easier to remove the lug nuts. I'm gonna use a breaker bar and a 21mm socket. Get them freed up. I'm gonna lift and support the vehicle. We're using a 2-post lift, but you can use a jack and jack stands. These lug nuts are pretty loose. I'm just gonna use the socket to finish removing them. The last lug nut, I'm gonna hold on to the wheel so it doesn't fall. Pull the wheel off, and place that aside. Just gonna grab the brake and knuckle and suspension assembly here and just try to turn it. Just give me some extra space. I'm gonna remove this splash shield here. I'm gonna remove this little 10mm bolt here in the splash shield. It's pretty loose. Take a flat-bladed screwdriver and pop these push clips out. Put the splash shield aside. Now we can see where our dry belt is. We're gonna take a 14mm wrench. This is our auto tensioner here. We need to pull the tension off of this so we can remove the belt. The clearance between the frame rail and the tensioner is really, really close. So I can't get a breaker bar and a socket in there. I'm gonna use the wrench. I'm gonna start it out here. We're gonna pull it to the back of the car. And then there is a ear with a hole in it that will fit a 6mm size bolt. And once I have the tension removed, I'm gonna push this through. It will lock the tensioner basically in the open position, untensioned. That way I can work on removing the belt. Okay. Let's relieve the tension. Put our little 6mm bolt in here. It's gonna hold the tension, I can release it. Now I can reach up, I'm gonna start on the water pump, which is right here. Pull it off. And then I'm just gonna feed the belt off of all the pulleys. Last one, it's way up top on the alternator. I'm just gonna pick it up, lift it off, and pull the belt out. So here's our original dry belt from our vehicle. Here's our brand new one from 1AAuto.com. See, it's got the same amount of ribs. If we stretch them out, it's the same length. And if your belt is worn out, like this one is, this new one will get your car running again. I'm gonna make a loop with the pulley like with the belt like this. Make a loop so I can go up and over the alternator pulley. If you've got the car on jack stands on the ground, it might be easier just to go up through the engine bay. But since I can reach it, I'm gonna put it up and over. I'm gonna wrap the belt around the water pump pulley, then up and over the power steering pump pulley. It's going to go around the tensioner. It goes up and over the crank. Goes around the crank pulley, down and around the AC compressor. It's actually popped off of the water pump pulley. That's fine because I've got it in the general area of all the pulleys. So now since the water pump pulley is smooth, I'm gonna reach up and move the belt down. Pull it into place, slide it around and over the water pump pulley. Make sure that it stays in the grooves in the alternator. It's in the grooves of the AC compressor. It's around the tensioner. It's in the grooves of the crank pulley. It's sitting in the grooves around the power steering pump pulley. So I'm happy with the way this is routed. I'm going to take the 14mm wrench and pull the tension off of this so I can remove that little bolt I used to hold it. Switch hands. Switch this a little bit so I have more room. Now be careful releasing this so you don't pinch your fingers. Let the tension out on the tensioner. And the drive belt is replaced. Reinstall our plastic splash shield using the push clips that we took out of here. Place the bolts that were in here. So there's actually 2 bolts here. One is missing. We're just going to install the lower one. You want to make sure you put the splash shield back in place because it keeps water, well, it keeps some water, debris, just general stuff from the road as you're driving down from getting caught up in your drive belt. We'll straighten our suspension out again. Reinstall our wheel, starting the lug nuts by hand. And take our socket and just use it by hand to get these lug nuts tight. All right, with all the lug nuts seated, I can put the car on the ground and torque the lug nuts. I'm going to torque these lug nuts to 80 foot-pounds.
Thanks for watching. Visit us at oneauto.com for quality auto parts, fast and free shipping, and the best customer service in the industry.